Hello students, this is Ms. Herndon for IMED 1316 Web Design. This video is for the labs in Chapter 2. I'm actually going to do the lab for Chapter 2 Lab 1. And anyway, if you're having issues, then you can follow it along. And we'll actually link it to, or I'll show you how to carry on from Chapter 2 Lab 1 to Chapter 3 Lab 1. Chapter 2 is the most important chapter so that you can carry on with the other chapters successfully. Okay, so first thing that I'm going to do is here in Dreamweaver, I'm on the remote server. And you can see I'm on my website where I have everything listed. Okay, I want to create a new file there. So I'm going to click here on my root directory, right click, and then do new folder. And now it's going to let me name that. I'm going to put ch2 L1, no spaces. Now whatever I name this, I need to make sure that I do exactly the same thing in my new file in my new site destination. Okay, so now I'm going to go over to site and do new site, and I'm going to take this ch2 L1 is my site, and I'm going to choose where to put that. And you can see this is my website files, and I am going to create a new folder here for ch2 L1, and within that, and then that's going to be the site for all of my Chapter 2 Lab 1 files. Okay, now I have to define my server as well. Okay, connected successfully. Of course, use your own password and your own username. And now the root directory, we want to put /ch2 L1, just like we put for everything else. And now here we can change this. stotgc.vertimar.com, and then your username would go here. Okay, so now we're going to save that and save again. And it gives us this little warning, but that's exactly what we want it to be. We want it to be a site within our main site. Okay, so we're going to click OK. And now I'm going to go to my local view. And here are, it's actually just a folder. That's all it is right now. And it is our site. And because we've defined the site, then everything that we do now will fall within that site the way that it's supposed to. So I'm on page 130 in the textbook, and we've basically, we're not going to worry about steps 1 or 2. Step 3, we're going to do file new, and we're going to choose to fluid grid layout. You can change the 100% here and 100% here. And then we're going to click Create. Now you'll notice that it has it's trying to save as type CSS. We want to create a CSS folder so that all the CSS files can be in there. We want everything to be very, very organized. It's imperative in web design. Okay, new folder, and we'll call it CSS. Okay, we'll open up that folder. And now we're going to name this, layout. And we don't have to put the .css because it's going to do that for us. And then click Save. Okay, now we can go back. First of all, we'll go to Design over here, and then over on the right, we'll go to the Files. And if we refresh, you can see that we have the CSS subfolder and layout.css. Okay, now our book instructs us we're going to save the untitled document as a template, and this one's important. Do File, Save as Template, and mine isn't enabled, so I need to get out of that. And now I can click back to File, Save as Template. All I had to do is click somewhere off of that particular element. You can see that it's within the site, CH2L1, and we're going to name it Travel, capital T, Template. No space. And we'll click Save now. All right, now it tells us that it also needs these additional files. And it's asking, is it okay to go ahead and copy them? Yes, we want to do that. We want those files. Okay, now look at my site over here again. You can see the travel template.dwt is there. That's very critical. Our boilerplate is not in our CSS folder, so we want to simply grab it and drag it up into the CSS folder. Update the links? Yes, update. Okay, we don't have a JS folder, and we want that, so I'm going to click up here, and then I'm going to right click, edit, new folder. And we want a JS folder for the JavaScript file. Then we can take this file and simply drag it into the JS folder and update the links. Okay, this is exactly the layout that you want it to be. You want 3 subfolders: CSS, templates, and JS. And you want the CSS files, of course, and the CSS subfolder, and the JS file, and the JS folder. Okay, so everything's okay, and we're ready to continue with our instructions. Okay, in the document window, delete the placeholder for div, number sign, div1, period, fluid. So I'm going to click here, and when I do that, then I can choose the tag for div, down here, the div tag that we want. And then we're going to delete it, so I'm going to push the delete key. Now we're going to go to the Insert panel, and with the selection on structure, Then we're going to choose to add a header. And with the header, we're going to give it the ID ID of header. Remember that a class is if we're going to use it multiple times. An ID is for something we're only going to use one time. So I'm going to click OK. And now we've added a header. And we're going to replace the text. So I'm going to select it. And we're going to put travel, tips, and destinations. Okay, now we're going to select the grid container tag. And then tap or click navigation or nav. There we go. Navigation. We're going to use the ID again. And our ID name is nav. Delete the text within the nav tag. And then we're going to click unordered list. And this is an ID also. And the ID is menu. Now I'm on step 15. We're going to delete the text in the unordered menu. And actually I don't have any text there. And then we're going to tap or click the list item. I'm going to go back to the design tag. Design also. And then we're going to use the list item. And now we're going to use a class this time. And the class is link. And again, we'll go back to design. And replace the text within the list item element with home. So we'll type home here. And then duplicate the LI link 4 times. We can do that right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, the second link, we want it to be resources. Third is destinations. Fourth is tips. And the fifth is contact us. Okay, select the grid container in the status bar. And then tap or click section. And I think we'll have to scroll down to insert a section. And we want the ID name content. Okay, and here in the section we want to delete this text. And we are going to insert an editable region. So I'm going to do insert, template, editable region. And then we're going to put insert page content here. And click OK, and you'll see that here. The editable region means that once we've saved this template, and we're going to actually copy the template and we're going to use it in other lessons. The editable region is where we'll put new information from the other chapters. Okay, place your cursor to the right of the section element, so just like right between there and this. It's kind of hard to get it there, but right there is where you want it. And then we're going to add a footer. And the ID is footer. Okay, and then we're going to take this information out and we're going to replace it with your name. Okay, and now on step 22 on page 131, we're going to simply start applying the CSS styling on page 129, table 2.6. So first thing what I'm going to do is I'm going to do File Save All, because I never like losing my work. Okay, and if you remember, then you can do expanded, and if you need to, then you can reset expanded so that it is correct. And then we can double click on the insert right here so that we have more room on our properties. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is our header. So I'm going to click up here in the header. I'm going to make sure my div tag is selected. And you can see that the selector is on header, and that's good. So on the margins, we want the top margin to be 10. I'm going to enter. The bottom margin to be 5 pixels. The padding top, we want to be 5 pixels. Padding bottom to be 5 pixels. Okay, now we're going to go over to text. And you can do that by simply scrolling down. We're going to set the color for the text, and I'm going to click RGBA, and the first number is 3. The second number is 8. The third number is 100 and 1.00. So that's correct. I'm going to hit enter. And the font family, we want it to be the one that starts with impact. And font weight, we want it bolder. Font size, extra, extra large. Text align, we want it to be center. Okay, now we want to go to the links. So let's click here and make sure that we have the link tag selected. You can see the selector is on link now. The margin, let's see. We want to go back to the layout. The margin is 5 pixels on the top. Margin bottom is 5 pixels. Padding top, 5 pixels. Padding bottom 5 pixels. The color on the text, we're going to have the RGBA, and it is $232. Oops. I think I'm going to get out of this and come back to it. $232, $232, $232, 1.00. So I'm going to hit enter now. You can see it's a light gray. And the background color, so let's go to the background color, and again RGBA choices. Three, comma, oops, I didn't get my 3 in there. Three, comma, 8, comma, 100, comma, 1.00. The text aligns. Let's go back to text. Text align is center. Border radius. So let's go to the border. We're going to lock the border radius. No, let's see. 5 pixel for all. So let's lock it. And then we do 5 pixels on one corner. And it changes all 4 of them. Okay, I'm going to do file save all again. And now I'm on the section. So I want to go to the section here. And I want to choose section down here. We don't want to be in the editable part. We want the section. Okay, and you see our selector is content. We're going to go back to the layout, and the margin is 10 pixel on top, 10 pixel on bottom, padding top, 5 pixel on top, and 5 pixel on bottom, and the font family is going to be Cambria, the one that starts with Cambria. Okay, we're okay with that one. Now we're going to go to the footer. So I'll click here in the footer, make sure the div tag is selected. Your footer selector is here, and I'm going to go to the layout. Actually, I'm sorry. We'll go to the font, and we want the font size to be small. And then we want the border top color. So let's go to border top color. And it's RGBA 3. Eight, 100, 1.00. I'm going to hit enter. And the border top width, we want it to be medium. And the border top style, we want it to be double. And that is it for all the CSS properties. File, save all. Step 23 now tells us to change the document title to travel tips. Okay, and then we're going to do file, save all again, and view your document in live view. And it looks fine. Okay, and the last thing, of course, is that we need to put it to the server. If you didn't create your Chapter 2 L1 or CH2L1 folder in your remote server, you won't be able to upload this. You'll get an error message. But we have created it. That was the first thing I did. So now I'm going to simply select my site, which is the top part there, and that's going to get the whole thing. And then I'm going to choose put to put it there. Okay, mine didn't go for some reason. Okay, evidently my server was down temporarily, so I'm going to go back to my local files for Chapter 2 Lab 1, and then I'm going to put them. Are you sure you want to put the entire site? Yes, I am. Okay, and this chapter you can actually check on the internet for the simple fact that this is simply a DWT file, which internet browsers don't know how to read, and that's because it's a Dreamweaver template file. It's not an HTML. However, we're going to use this to create our HTML files for future chapters. Okay, so we've actually finished Chapter 2, Lab 1. That wasn't hard. And we're going to, I hear y'all, I know what you're saying. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is with these saved, I'm going to do save all one more time, and just because I'm paranoid, and I'm going to go back to my folder for my website files, and there's my Chapter 2 Lab 1 files. Okay, I'm going to simply hold down my Shift key. I'm going to select all these files. I'm going to right click and copy. I'm going to go back to my root for my website files, and then I'm going to create a new folder for CH3L1. I'm going to use the exact same files to start my Chapter 3 Lab 1. So I'm going to open up that subfolder, right click, and paste. And there's the files that I need to start my Chapter 3. So now, I close that, and I can close my DWT file there. I'm going to go back into my site and create a new site, and this will be CH3L1. And I'll use this, and I'm going to choose the subfolder for CH3L1 for my local files. Server, I'm going to need to put my server definition in. And then I use it as my root directory also. Okay. And now I need to change this. And you would put your username in here. Okay, and I'm going to save and save. And it gives me this little warning. That's exactly what we want to do. And click OK. And now we have our files, and these are the files that we just copied in our Explorer window. You can see our files are here. And now this will be where we start on Chapter 3, Lab 1. Also, don't forget to go back to the, I'm sorry, the remote server, and we need to right click and add a new folder for that, and our new folder will be CH3L1. Make sure you're very consistent. so that then when we upload these files, they'll have somewhere to go. And we can go back to CH3L1 for the local view. And now you could start chapter 3 here. The same thing will happen for chapter 4, lab 1. Once we finish this, we'll go back into our Windows and go to our file and then copy those files and the folders and put them directly into a site for CH4L1, and so on and so on and so on. For all the lab 1s, all the lab 2s you can copy forward. All the lab 3s you can copy forward. So the main thing is creating a site definition for each one so that everything stays in the place that it's supposed to stay. Please let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.